Welcome to the Podski.
What? Ooh, yeah.
You understand, baby?
Dig it?
Let me tell you another thing.
First name John, last name Baker. Brother.
Hello and welcome to the Podski. I'm your host, the man of 1,000 gimmicks, John Baker. And today we are doing the very first Podski Roundtable Rumble. Very excited. We had a lot of guests on, and it was a lot of fun to get in there and talk about. Not only did we talk about Raw 30, we talked about some of our favorite Rumble moments, and we also chat about what's going to happen this weekend at the Royal Rumble. So that's essentially the whole reason of the show. The Royal Rumble is this Saturday. Super excited for it. Can't wait to see what they do. But here we are, and I just want to give a quick little note that we're going to do a very special little thing at the end with Andretti and I. We are going to host the very first Podski Royal Rumble. It's so much fun. I cannot believe that we came up with this together. But we got 30. It's just like a standard regular Royal Rumble. We got 30 entrants, 30 in, one left standing. We're going to see who is the Podski Royal Rumble winner and who's going to go on to Podski Mania that we literally haven't even created yet. Really hope you stick around to check that out. Hopefully you checked out last week's episode of Triple H's 2002 return, and you checked out That's So Dolphins Talk. We got Conference Championship weekend coming up this week, and we got the Royal Rumble. It's a huge weekend. We got the Royal Rumble on Saturday. I love having the WWE pay-per-view on a Saturday. I love that idea. It's so much easier. So let's get right into the Royal Rumble Roundtable. All right, here we are at the Podski Roundtable Rumble, and we're going all out for a Royal Rumble Roundtable. We got a lot of special guests in here today, so we're going to kick it off with, obviously, you know, what we obviously like to do here. We like to throw out our favorite wrestlers all the time, so obviously our Triple H and Shawn Michaels, so we'll throw it to Milton. Milton, what are your two favorite wrestlers?
My man Ric Flair. Woo! Love me some Flair. I mean, I live my life through him half the time. The Rock, and I go honorable mention. And this is just to piss off Teddy Mongoose, my boy from the old Four Horsemen, Steve Mongo McMichael. So yeah, let's go.
It's not Kofi Kingston?
No, dude. No, stop. Miss me with that trash.
What about you, Spicy Viking?
I'm going to do outsiders forever. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. Big Sexy has been my favorite since the 90s. Scott Hall is a cautionary, inspirational tale.
I just went through, and I'm like watching. I started in the New Jack. I started with the very first Raw. So like I went through a lot of those Raws and those in your houses with Big Sexy, and I absolutely love Diesel. Big Sexy.
Yep. Diesel's an amazing character.
So great. Eddie Stagg, what about you?
I'm going to go with the two guys who brought me into it, and I love forever, Michaels and Austin. My two favorites, back to back.
So good, so good. Simba, what are your two favorite wrestlers?
I'm gonna have to say Kenny Omega, and then Broken Matt Hardy.
Those are two solid picks. Actually, relevant today picks. I like that a lot. Teddy,
yeah, I wish he was still doing the Broken gimmick, but
yeah, who knows what they're even gonna do like in the future. I feel like they still got I guess it all depends on what they're doing with Jeff and if Jeff's coming back.
Yeah,
whoever knows when that is at this point. But Teddy, what do you got?
Tiered answer here. Tiered answer. So my two favorite of all time, Shawn and Diesel, two dudes with attitudes. Born in the mid 80s. So I'm 10-ish, 11-ish years old when two dudes are running through the WWF. And so forever, They hold, I have my fondest wrestling memories come from that time. That being said, dude that got me into wrestling is Hulk. So that'd be like my 1A. And then the dude that got me back into wrestling big time, Kenny Omega. So that would be like my 1B. So my two favorite, if I'm going my two favorite, that would be Shawn and Diesel, but then tearing that down a little bit, Hulk, just because if there is no Hulk, there's no me here. And then Kenny, I don't know if I'm here anyways, because Kenny got me Karen again. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Nice. Yeah. So one thing that we like to do here on the Podski is we like to put people on the hot seat. So Mongoose, we're putting you on the hot seat. This was coordinated by missing in action right now, Mr. Justin Andretti. He's gone. He left the territory. But what we do is we put people on the hot seat. So we're going to throw this here. You are going to book a feud between Brian Knobbs.
Oh,
This is great.
why wouldn't I? That's who I would have picked first round. So good. Go on.
Brian Knobbs and Chris Candido.
That's absolutely wonderful. So here's what I got. So Chris Candido obviously is coming down to the ring in his skip gimmick, comes down with Sonny. He is, performing, doing whatever he's doing, beating up some JOB dude. While he's in the middle of his little push-ups and whatnot, his eyes are caught and he sees a absolutely repulsed Sonny, like doing all the histrionics, fingers over nose, holding the nose, waving her head, ew, 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 because Brian Knobbs is front row and he's hollering at Shorty right now. He's doing all the cat calling, honey, give me some, you know what I'm saying? And so Candido mid push-up stops, frustrated, stops, looks over, and gets near-falled by this Joe Bear. Okay. This only is going to make Knobbs want more. All right, obviously. And so Knobbs is turning it up. Candido is getting flustered. He, again, near fall, finally says enough of this, takes care of business, beats the job guy, gets Sonny, gets his sport towel that he would bring to the ring or that she might have. He covers her rear with it as they're walking away because Brian Knobbs is obviously turned on by her little workout outfit, and they sneak to the back. All right. And so Knobbs is there and he's just high-fiving the bros around him, doing whatever he's got to do. And then we would have Knobbs come to the ring. I got Brian Knobbs as obviously the big solo star that he is. Let's say that Brian Knobbs is just performing, having himself a wonderful 3.5-minute match over the likes of a my gosh, who we even have at that point in time? He's, Brian Knobbs is going to work on like an Aldo Montoya or something like that. And then while he's going to work, he's doing his, pity city and all that stuff. But he's saying, Sonny, what's up? Sonny, what's up? Just hollering at her into the camera, not hard camera, those ones that are ringside. And so we then cut to some backstage thing a week later, whatever. Todd Pettingill on Mania. Sonny, I cannot believe what has just happened to you. You had 2 weeks in a row where you have Brian Knobbs hollering at Shorty. So what do you think about that? So she calls him this fat, disgusting, lard, gross, pity city, gross and shitty, whatever she can get away with in saying Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. And then finally, you have Knobbs responds and he says, she's just playing hard to get. She loves my smile. And he shows her how many teeth he doesn't have. Okay. And then what I'd also like to see is him then from going from there. Knob starts to come to the ring, and instead of him being in like a splattered t-shirt, he's coming in like a splattered but sleeveless blazer and things like that. Do you know what I'm saying? So like a blazer, no shirt underneath it, paint splattered and all that, cut off sleeves. And so he's stepping his game up a little bit. Sonny's not noticing. And so the next week then, Brian Knobbs comes to the ring in Chris Candido fitness model gear. All right. So he ditches all of his stuff and he's wearing straight fitness model gear and saying, I know you want it. Okay. Which she says, no, I don't. And then finally, what we get is Candido saying, you leave my girl alone. This is going to be you and me facing off it in your house, 17, what would it be? Oh my gosh, I can't think of anything clever off the top of my head. So I'm just gonna say something to do with like the sun behind the doorknob or whatever, whatever they might do with that. And then we have our blow off where obviously we have some sort of hitch where we have if Knobbs wins, Sonny's got to go on a date with him. If Candido wins, Knobbs leaves her alone. Knobbs obviously wins from botched interference from Sonny, gets some rotten pin on Candido, and then we have like a week or 2 weeks worth of humor of Brian Hobbs then courting Sonny, taking her out to like something like not like Burger King. I don't want to go that low, but I'm saying like he's like, we're going out tonight, and they hit like a Red Robin or like an Applebee's. And Sonny's just so off by it, and all the hilarity ensues. And so then we got weeks of television right there. So that's what I'm saying.
That was fantastic. I can't. The whole time you're explaining Sonny, I just see your mugshot of like a few days ago.
Right. Yeah, no, I want Vixen 1996 Sonny the same way that I want with us Chris Candido. So that's how I'm transporting time here. Do you know what I'm saying? And then my Knobbs, and not only Candido, but I mean bleached blonde in the blue, and then I just want stanky Brian Knobbs. And so that was how I was envisioning this the whole time. Yeah, wow. not even like past his prime Knobbs. I mean prime Knobbs that still don't look like he's in his prime. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the way I got that.
Bravo. Hats off. That was a great one.
Thank you.
Especially because you had no idea it was coming too. The whole point of the hot seat. Did you guys watch Raw this week? Because I thought it was when it was Raw 30. It was an awesome segment early with Reigns and Zayn and all that. Did you guys got any thoughts on this Raw 30 or Raw XXX?
It was great to see a lot of people come back, and man, this Bloodline Sami Zayn thing has actually got me going. Like I'm actually enjoying this. There's something going on there. The cracks are starting to form. It was a good show overall.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good show. Yeah, definitely the cracks are starting to show. The biggest pop they got out of me all night was Jay coming in with the arm to block the solo thumb, whatever that is.
That thing is, yeah.
Well, whatever that was. But yeah, like they got me huge on that, which only makes me like want more. But I know that me and Mongoose were talking in one of our other chats, like the only bad thing about that segment is that now people want Sammy for this weekend, and it might end up being a problem. Maybe.
Yeah. And it's nothing that hasn't been said before on, any insider things or whatever. But like, that's the crazy thing about this is that Cody Rhodes left AEW because it was, essentially the act went stale, whatever you want to say. The fans just weren't digging him as the babyface he wanted to be. Dude, he went to WWE and he was all that. We me and Bake and Bricks, and we all watched the WrestleMania together last year, and that Cody entrance. That match was insane. And then you cap it off with this dude doing that Hell in a Cell match with that purple entire side of his body is the most babyface thing in the history of babyface things. And I understand that you want to advertise the return here to get eyes on the Rumble and everything else. But I do think that they're putting Cody in a really tough spot because of Cena doing his surprise thing, coming back and winning. There's the Batista comparisons and all that. You are absolutely playing with fire where you have this incredible return arc for Cody that might be spoiled from the fans saying, give me Sammy, give me Sammy, give me Sammy. Like it's going to be really interesting to see what happens, what they do to sort of get themselves out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be something, man. Really is.
Baker, one takeaway I took from this show, because I watched a little bit of it, is your boy Uncle Kurt. All he's been doing since he's been coming back is doing jobs. Like, that's all he does now. He doesn't, like, he had that one match against we always joke and call old boy King Corbin, because he's garbage. But like, that's the only match he's had since he's been back, I guess, over the last couple of years. But yeah, all he does is jobs. Like, get Kurt Angle out of here. Like, what is he, or Teddy? How does Kurt walk? Like his legs are like bent. What? Like, it's bad.
You don't like Baron Corbin? Why don't you like Baron Corbin?
Oh, stop it! Get him off the screen. I'm done with Baron. Okay, but
the Baron, I want rich Baron Corbin with poor Baron Corbin hair. If you bring that back to me, dude, I'd be all about it.
First of all, I see Baron Corbin's father at my gym every week, so like I'm over him.
I don't know if you guys ever saw that. It's like a WWE creative parody account, and they said that Baron Corbin's now in wrestling. He used to be in boxing. He used to be in football. One of these days, he's going to find a sport he's good at.
Yeah.
Dude, literally 0 for whatever, 0 for 3, 0 for 4. That was, I'm a big gimmick fan. And and the thing is, what's wild about it, my favorite wrestling now is just grown-ups who just go full grown-up. You know what I mean? Like, just throw hands, throw feet, and just punish each other in the ring. But my favorite wrestlers are people that, were garbage men or whatever. And so I actually, yeah, that's it, dude. I literally just found out this week. I was listening to the Observer Radio and just found out that IRS was created because Vince got audited like 4 years in a row.
Yeah,
which is the most, which is the best thing that I've ever heard in my life.
It's so petty.
Yeah, I absolutely love it, man.
Better with that. The Godwins are even better with the POG and the HOG.
Oh yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying. But that broke Baron and then Happy Corbin. I don't want to see any of his matches, but like, I'll tell you how cool Baron Corbin is. You know what I mean? Like, they got me with that. So
can I just say real quick how funny it is to have this cast of characters on this podcast?
Yeah,
I was dealing with a dog with I think he's got a broken nail on his front paw, so there was blood all over the fucking house. So I was dealing with that for the last half hour. But other than that, like, as soon as I got on here and saw all these faces, I started laughing. It's very funny. It's like when worlds collide, like when NXT does a show with the NXT UK.
Yeah, I felt bad. I got a 5-year-old, right? And the missus is out this evening, and so she says, "Will you lay with me? Will you sleep with me? Dad, help me go to sleep." I said, "Of course, honey." And I'm laying there, dude, and I'm doing this thing where I'm like, "Dad, I gotta be on a podcast here in a couple of minutes, or so you best go to sleep." You know what I mean? And so I think that she started snoring, and the second she started, I went full Grinch with Cindy Lou Who. You know what I mean? Like, just sneaking right out of there. So yeah, my only hope now is that that there's not some cataclysmic kindergarten vomiting going on or whatever, because I'm here to go with the bruh.
You off the chain,
so,
bro.
Thanks for hopping in, Andretti, and zooming in on a pit stop. So
Yeah.
What'd you think of Raw Triple X, or did you even watch it? Or you
Well,
only
was it, I watched the whole thing, what I could bear of it, but I mean, I had, like I told you before, man, my best friend when watching wrestling nowadays is the fast forward button. So being able to fast forward through 3 hours of Raw that isn't very good is very appealing to me. That show was bad for it being a 30-year anniversary show. I thought they didn't do a very good job. I mean, the Becky Lynch Bailey thing was insulting to say the least. I mean, I don't know why we had the Bloodline in there killing 3 segments and just standing around. I mean, like even with their body language, they were just standing around not doing anything and talking real slow. It was like, dude, why are you killing all this time right now? But they did. Then they ruined that match for the live crowd, and then the rest
show's
of the show
too long.
good. Yeah, the show wasn't very good, and the rest of it wasn't any good either. And then they got cut. They got cut abruptly at the end for going over the time limit. So how does that even happen?
You're telling me you didn't like DX versus Imperium?
I mean, I like
Come
Kurt
on.
Angle and DX. That's pretty funny.
Kurt doing jobs.
watching Kurt like try to straighten his knees.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, John.
Watching Kurt trying to straighten his knees is one of my.
It's unbearable.
Yeah, he looks so bad. I think he just had a double knee replacement, so that's even worse. But yeah, Kurt.
Yeah, I didn't see the show, but I was listening to the recap, and when I heard I'm laughing talking about it. When I heard that he was like, "Hey, I heard you're missing a guy," like, so I figured I'd be in DX. That's awesome. That is very clever. That's funny. Like, I think that is. I give them thumbs up for that. I think that's cool. And then also, and again, maybe I'm missing something because I only just heard recaps, but having Triple H do the thing where he, sort of says like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm retired and we're all too old." That's endearing to me because I had to suffer through Triple H and Shawn versus the Brothers of Destruction, which are 4 of my favorite people in the history of the world. You know what I mean? I had to suffer through our Saudi brothers and sisters needing to watch that live. And so that having them now be, real with that makes me feel better.
Our Saudi brothers and sisters.
Hey, did anybody else catch whenever Triple H said there's only one guy that could book a match like this, and the crowd started to boo because they thought it was going to be Vince coming out?
Yeah.
Anybody else catch that?
Yeah. I was waiting for Baker pop in the group chat at one point if your boy Uncle Vince would have shown up acting a fool.
I wouldn't have popped. I popped for Biker Taker though, except he looked bad.
That was great.
It was great.
If they could have popped out the Limp Bizkit, that would have been a full time travel.
Yeah, I wanted. If they
that Limp Bizkit, I'll tell you what though, what music did he have? His old? Did he have the gong?
They did.
No, he had the American Badass.
It went dark, and then they started doing the Metallica thing they always play, and then they went into Kid Rock, American Badass. So like they did like a triple mashup that took forever, and then they had like his.
Well, I don't even care. You just talked me into watching this segment because the only thing I wanted to hear was.
They did not do that one.
Yeah, but. I don't care if you're gonna give me Metallica, Kid Rock, blah blah blah. Like, are you kidding me? Layer all of them on top of each other. Yeah. Now I'm gonna have to rewatch it. So thank you.
Yeah, and then they did that whole thing where Taker kind of like said something to Bray, and who knows what he said. They probably didn't say anything, but they made it a big deal of like
passing the evil torch.
Yeah,
it seemed a little bit forced. It was good. I know they're going for it, but it seemed very forced.
Yeah, 10 years too late on that.
Yeah,
Bray Wyatt's boring. When you call it what it is, this thing is boring.
Yeah, I get excited for him, like the thought of him, and then when it comes to the matches. It's just like,
I mean, look, they should have just kept him as the creepy guy with the lantern in the swamp.
Yeah.
It would have been great.
Yeah, you don't need the puppets. The puppets.
It took Vince to come back for literally 13 days, and they brought the puppets back. That has to be a Vince call.
Vince meeting. He's like,
Goddamn puppets,
goddamn,
pal.
pal, I gotta bring the Vince is in the meeting. Goddamn, pal, I gotta bring the puppets back for the 30th show. Goddamn, get the fuck out of here.
I don't know. I mean, I thought that stuff with Bray Wyatt was all right, but I think that the big issue became when Alexa Bliss started just to become Lady Bray Wyatt, and then it was just like, oh, okay, yeah, this killed it. It took it too far, and now it's not good anymore.
The giant
There's
Jack in the
only-
Box was.
You can't go any farther. Like that's the problem with like when you push it too much with stuff like that, you get to a point where you can't go anywhere, and then you just have to end it abruptly, and it just goes away.
Yeah, the Bliss stuff was bad.
Baker, you know what would have made this show better? Let's just be real here. And Teddy, you're going to lose your mind when I say this. I think Jinder Mahal would have put the show over. Just saying.
What?
More gender is always a
Do
good
what?
thing, so I'm fine with that.
He's in NXT.
Dude, you can. If I had Jinder Mahal riding an elephant to the stage, being ushered in by Great Khali, I'd be all for it.
I mean,
I don't
you know how I feel about Great
Ali just pulling him by his trunk
Yeah.
because
I
he's
mean,
that strong.
one of the best things about wrestling when people are billed from places they're not even close to being from. That motherfucker's from Calgary. He's from Calgary.
Yeah.
Middle East.
The best one
Yeah.
is Kamala from Africa, but he's from Detroit. Come on,
Right.
my man.
Yeah.
Right. Nah, dude, that's the dude. I've been busting Milton about Kamala for the last, I don't know, 15 years or whatever. Because the old boys from the Midwest, just he grew up just eating cheeseburgers and doing whatever. And then we have him out there. No, you know what I'm saying? I absolutely love it.
I don't know if I Baker and Mongoose. I don't know if I told you guys this week, but I did a little bit of an Orient Express deep dive this week on the network. And when they switched over to Tanaka and Kato, which was Paul Diamond, because they wrestled in the AWA for a long time. They put him under the mask and said they were from Japan. That fucking guy is from Yugoslavia.
Oh my God.
Like they said that Rusev was from Russia and he had that Bulgarian flag tattooed on his shoulder where everyone could see that every single week.
Yeah.
Do you think that even 5% of wrestling fans know what the Bulgarian flag is?
No.
And I'm not even being rude. Like I'm just saying, like you go Billy on the Street style and say, what flag is this? And people are gonna say, So dude, it might as well be Russia. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think you're safe with flags. I think you're safe with flags. You just can't have the words. That's the problem.
Bulgaria was when you turn it over, now it's Chechnya.
Yeah.
When you turn it this way, it's Russia.
Yeah.
Right, you can't be like Bulgaria till death. That's the problem.
What are you gonna say, Bricks Malone?
Now I'm about to say that tattoo's a gimmick, so let's be real here. That's all Vince's creation.
Oh my!
Is it? Now maybe I'm wrong. Is that tattoo? Is it the flag or is it the actual like country?
The outline of the country with the flag inside it.
It's the outline.
Yeah. Shoot, man. Dude, Braun Strowman has some state
North
tattooed on
Carolina.
him. You think you know what that state is?
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah. Carolina, Farolina, whatever. Might as well be Minnesota. Whatever. Yeah.
It's like 3 states
Safe.
south from you.
It's just reverse.
That's a safe tattoo, if you ask me. We don't.
It
You're
was
good.
the world's
You're
smallest Superman tattoo ever put on a big man.
I
Oh,
love
it's so bad too. Yeah.
I love his tribal with the world's smallest Superman. That is fantastic.
It's so tiny.
I hate that dude so bad.
Yeah,
That one and Batista's belly button. Those are probably the top 2 most ridiculous tattoos.
Yeah.
No, get out of here. You got Lesnar's stupid knife on his chest. That is the worst thing to ever exist.
Yeah.
Now listen to this, my man. So
Batista's
my
belly
favorite
button
thing,
is rough, though.
my favorite thing about the Lesnar knife on his chest is that when myself and Andretti were young, he would say that I would love to get the Penn State logo, with "This is God's War" tattooed on me, and then I would love to get a big knife on my chest. And then when Lesnar got the knife on his chest, I was like, well, maybe he was onto something, man. Like, that's pretty badass. But then you keep growing. And then when you have like 45-year-old, like, still pecs, don't get me wrong, dude. I wish I could look like Brock now. And, he's 10 years older than me. But when you got those like middies forming and there's that big saber down there.
They're starting to grab the sword.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That knife has become a sword. It's become a sword. The knife has become a sword.
It's gonna turn into like one of those kids' foam swords in another 10 years.
Goddamn, pal.
That would be great.
That's too funny.
It just gets it colored in, so it's just that blue and red foam looking handle.
Right.
They'll start selling those at the events like glow sticks.
They had all kinds of like stuff they were selling. They had a sweatshirt for $60 that just said Raw is XXX. Not out of the I don't put it past them, but they had 3 commemorative titles. Like they had the winged eagle with like the old school Raw LED BS on it, and then they had the big eagle like with that stupid strap, and then they had another one. They looked ridiculous. I hate.
If you give me $10, I'll go buy a hoodie right now and write "Raw is too fucking long" on it and give it to you.
Yeah, if they
Triple X is the 3 hours.
Yeah. If they literally,
it should say Raw is XXXL long. Is what it should say.
Well, I mean, see, here's the thing though. Like, I don't understand why. Like, I'm sure someone has talked to Triple H or Vince to say this show is too long. We're losing people. Why can't
money though?
Well, yeah,
commercials.
It's also part of the network. The network, wants the rights to it for X amount of hours.
Right.
Cornette talks about it all the time. Like, they buy that slot, you have to fill that slot. And it's too much. It's like AEW on the Friday nights. Nobody watches it. It's too much. I mean, AEW is what it is. I mean, it's fun, but that extra night is not.
But who the fuck can clear 3 hours?
Yeah.
That, especially when the first hour, I don't do a damn thing. Like at least when we had Nitro, the first hour was the Luchadors and Benoit and Jericho out there killing each other.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. I mean, but now that first hour of Raw, man, they're just killing time.
Yeah, literally, like 2/3 of that hour is just them killing time with backstage BS, and you're lucky if you get a match, and if you get a match, it's maybe 10 minutes long.
Yeah,
with that,
it's the entrances too. Those things take forever.
Yeah, and then they do a commercial break in between the entrances, and or so.
Yeah, there were. It seemed like there were a lot of commercials for Monday night or for the anniversary show. I felt like I was fast forwarding the whole damn time. It's what it felt like.
They went commercial free for the first hour, and then they
it was the worst hour to do that.
Well, they had 2.3 million viewers, which is like the most in like years. Which, I mean, everyone obviously is going to tune in for the nostalgia. That's the only reason I did, because I can't. The last time I watched a Raw was the Raw after WrestleMania. And that was only to see what Cody was going to say. But
that was probably the first Raw I've seen, quote unquote, all the way through in probably 5 years, I bet.
Anytime they reference the Attitude Era appearances or anything like that, or the logo, you're like, okay, I'm interested at the very least.
Right. And they live off nostalgia. Like they are kings of nostalgia.
When they start saying things like fucking Kurt is now in DX, whatever, just fucking eat it. Buy the shirt,
dude. And and that's the thing with it is that I heard you say about the commercials and everything there, Andretti, and I'll tell you this, that I said earlier before you got on, maybe, that I didn't see the show, but that with that commercial free first hour, you were backloaded with them, so it probably felt like you had them all the time. But if I was going to tune in on Monday, which I had some circumstances that prevented me from doing so, but I wanted to, and the reason that I wanted to was, and it's bad as it is, they show the same names over and over again: Shawn, Road Dogg, X-Pac, Taker. But look, man, you get me. You get me. And I didn't have a chance to see it. And I wish that I would have. When I heard the run back through, I also wish I did. When I heard about the Taker stacked Kid Rock, and now I need to see these things. But yeah, man, you're going to get me every single time when you start to talk about people that were relevant. And I'm not even talking Attitude Era people. When they dangle like a Tatanka or whatever, that's when I get really excited. And I don't even care if it's him just standing there, looking like this, for 5 seconds, which is what it always ends up being. Yeah, they get me, man. Like I like seeing those people. And as bad as it is, I like seeing those people because we can watch them whenever we want, but we don't get to see them very often because, when do you ever see Tatanka? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm all about that.
Billy Holiday saw Tatanka at a indie show, and he stole a birthday cake and drove away and squealed tire.
Listen,
that's a real story.
What are you going to do? All right. You're hungry. Birthday cake's delicious.
Gotta eat.
If I'm going to eat, I'm squealing tire.
That's what I'm saying. $50 and a free birthday cake. Let's go.
Do not try to put over Tatanka, Teddy. Miss me with that. Yeah. Stop with it. Come on.
Brother, I want you to know something really fast, okay? I grew up in a small town that had a single arena that had a WWF show a year. And one of the years that I went, which would have been 93 or 94, can't recall the one. When I went to the gimmick stand with my $10 or whatever it was, your man came home with a foam Tatanka tomahawk because I was pumping that thing the entire time. Dude, he was undefeated forever. When Ludwig Borga beat him, it ruined my Saturday. All right, probably part of my Sunday. I probably only felt better because I watched the Rock and Jock softball game later that day or whatever. And I'm just telling you, man, Tatanka was a big deal. And if you don't think he was, I'll send you the network link to the Superstars where he goes to the Indian reservation and he's in front of all their faces the entire time.
Because as I went back, like I mentioned earlier, I went back and watched all that new gen stuff. He was plastered all over all of those Raws.
He was, dude. Tatanka was awesome, and his match with Shawn is, Mania 9 is one of those. Same with WrestleMania, Royal Rumble 93. Those are guilty pleasures of mine because of where I was in my wrestling fandom. But that match with Shawn holds up. You know what I mean? Like as a good match. Terrible finish because he had the undefeated streak and he couldn't lose to Shawn, and they didn't want to put the Intercontinental belt on him or whatever. But that match with Shawn is still great. Like Tatanka wasn't bad, man. I'm not saying that he was great, but he wasn't bad. And
his gimmick worked
9-year-old, 10-year-old me, I was all for it, dude. War paint painted on his head.
His gimmick worked for that time. I mean, this would be another conversation for another day, but I think gimmicks for their times, as ridiculous as they are, they got over, they worked. I mean, and his is one of them. So I can't even fault him or you for even liking him. I mean, hell, I love Mongo McMichael. I know you can't stand him, but that's my guy.
I'm all in on Mongo, dude.
Thank you. See, that's why we have around.
I got a shirt. Right. Milton, I got a shirt. I got.
So do I. I got that Bears Mongo 4 Horsemen shirt with the WCW logo on the bottom.
That's great.
Because your man's on here. Teddy hooked your boy up.
Hey,
my biggest problem with Mongo, before you move on, is that he wasn't a good wrestler, he wasn't a good talker, and he had no real stage or mic presence or anything like that. So those are my only problems with him, is that he wasn't good at anything that he tried to do in wrestling.
Boy,
aside from that, dude, he was awesome. That's
what made him so great. While
we're talking about small towns with single arenas, and we mentioned Shawn Michaels, Simba, you want to tell them the story of the time that you and I were sitting beside a little kid and his mom at a show at that arena?
Which one? Oh, wait. Oh, my God. I half remember this.
I can tell it if you don't remember.
You do it. I kind of remember. I just remember it was like that. Yeah, you got to tell it because.
Well, one time we were at the show. It was a house show when we were there, and this little kid was freaking out about Shawn Michaels, and all of a sudden his mom started freaking out even more than the little kid, like way over the top. And then the mom turned to the little kid and said to him, "That guy in the ring right now is going to be your new dad."
That's fuck.
That's amazing.
Oh my god.
Wow.
She was not good. She was not good.
Oh no,
You don't say.
no.
That's
For
top-notch
small
parenting
town,
right
she was
there.
small town 3. Like, so you know how bad that is.
And that,
Oh,
kids, is how I met your mother.
Simba, did you say she was a small town 3?
Yeah, small town 3.
Oh my god. You know that's bad. Mm.
That might be right up
That's
your alley, Milt.
what's up?
Might be right up your alley.
I mean, goddamn pal, I'll take care of business. You know what I do.
Gotta do the job.
Thank you.
We've all done jobs in our time.
Wow.
Hey, George, remember Vegas? Me neither.
No comment on that.
No comment on that.
Sorry, Eddie Stagg. That wasn't me. That was my twin. He was a pervert.
How do we feel about another Lesnar Lashley deal? Like, are they really going to do that again for WrestleMania? Like,
Of course they are. I mean, that's money for Lesnar. That's money for Lashley. I mean, what the last time they fought was a Crown Jewel. I mean, yeah, the Blood Money pay-per-view. So, like, I mean, it's a good build-up, but I mean, I don't know. It's not needed. Let's be real here. It's not needed, but I'll watch it because it's Lashley and Lesnar. So.
And then Goldberg's gonna run in and ruin it.
Oh, okay. Then we're done.
And you get the triple.
Go get a
the triple
concussion.
that's
Facts.
Yeah.
make it better.
Threat. Yeah, triple threat next time.
The only I want Lashley Lesnar to be a means to the end of Lesnar and Gunther. Like I want Gunther to come out there and make sure that Brock loses to Bobby so that Bobby keeps his stuff or whatever. And I want chops. I want power bombs, suplexes. That's what I want. Bad.
He's got to stay undefeated until he's ready to take on the heavyweight champ. Is my thing with Gunther.
Who's that? Gunther?
Keep him
Who better to put him over than Lesnar?
Yeah, if Gunther's wrestling Brock's going to lose. You know what I'm saying? Oh, hold on, my kid just said I left the door open.
Yeah, I think you keep that IC belt on him as long as you can. Don't let him lose. Have him, give it up, and then when he's ready to challenge for Reigns or whoever ends up being champ, that's when you make the move. I think. But keep that guy strong and keep building him up, man. He could be a main event villain, man, for sure.
Yeah, I really like Gunther. I heard that the Lesnar Gunther thing was talked about for Mania, but I don't know if that's where they might eventually Rhodes will lead that way for Mania or not. I don't know, but I'm interested in that match a lot. But I don't really want to see another Lesnar Lashley, and then I guess that leaves. Well, I really hate Austin Theory. I can't get with it yet. I don't know.
Is it the hair? Is it now that he's hairy?
No, it's his face. He's got such a punchable face.
Nah.
Oh, that's why I love him. That's why I love
the facial hair, is it? Because I'm trying to rock straight Austin Theory there.
I get what you're saying though. Like, is the problem is with Theory is that he's hard to cheer for, and he's hard to hate the way that you like to hate people. Do you know what I mean? But that being said, he is kind of easy to hate because he's hard to like.
Right.
So I don't know.
I agree with Baker. I think his face is very punchable.
See, and that's why he's great. If you want to punch this guy, then we got a good heel on our hands. We got somebody who is just punchable. You want to talk about punchable and Raw, going back to Raw the other night. Dominic Mysterio, that guy is punchable.
Oh yeah.
But Rhea Ripley has made him something special, man.
Yeah,
This whole idea of Dominic going to jail for 15 minutes and being a hardened criminal.
It's amazing.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yes. So you have somebody that literally is like, when you say punchable, that wanted to be babyface son of Ray, and the people are like, you're not very good.
Flip it.
But to now you went to jail for 7 minutes and like you talk about the weights you lift and stuff like that. Like now you're one of my favorite wrestlers. Like I love it. I absolutely love it.
Everything before that, though, I could not stand him. I couldn't wait till he got off the screen. But like, yes, since they did the whole stuff, and like Rhea, she's fantastic. But I don't know. I'm really excited for this Rumble. And do we have any favorite Rumble moments that anyone wants to cover? Because
I wrote a couple down today because I watched a couple today while I was working. See what I got here. I had obviously you guys know I'm a huge Rick Martel fan, so that the 91 Rumble where Martel goes for like 54 minutes is one of my favorite things, for sure. I mean, how the thing I noticed too, like how odd it still is to go back and watch Flair during that WWF run, dude. Like in the early, like it still feels really out of place even today to go back and watch that stuff. It just feels weird. But I always like all the surprises. All the Japanese guys, Carlos Colon, Murdoch, Dory Funk, the Mexican wrestlers. I mean, Mick Foley being in it 3 times in '98 is really cool. And then the Hart and Luger splitting it in '94. And then I popped so hard today for Fake Razor and for Biker Crush, man. I forgot about Biker Crush.
Yes.
the Fake Razor. Oh my God. I went anytime I see Fake Diesel, Fake Razor, I instantly fast forward because I can't be any more angry at it.
Oh, they should be the opposite, man.
I love it, dude. I love it.
Yeah, that's what you should be watching.
No,
so
do it because it just makes me want it makes me just want Big Daddy back.
Yeah, but they throw Fake Razor out of that Rumble pretty quick, and it's pretty funny.
Real quick. You get him out.
Yeah, they knew right away that they had a dud, and what I appreciated is that they knew they had a dud, so they made it a dud. Like it's not forgiveness for what is literally like the attempt was to just continue the gimmick, but I appreciate them saying, "Oh, this isn't good." So
it just drove people to see what the real Razor was doing.
Right.
It really did.
Yep.
This is dumb. Let's see what Scott's going to say on the other channel.
Yeah.
So Andretti, you brought up the 98 Rumble. Wanted to talk about the 98 Rumble. I was at the 98 Rumble.
Really?
It was my birthday. Yes. I was at the 98 Rumble. The Three Faces of Foley was awesome. That sets up Austin's win at WrestleMania. It's a great Rumble. It was fun. Mm-hmm. And it's also the Rumble. Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Kane comes out, sets the casket on fire. Now, the part you didn't hear on TV is because on TV they cut it with the caskets on fire, but live they had to do something because nobody in the arena is going to fucking leave. Somebody's just been burned alive, so they got to do something. So after a few minutes, everybody's sitting there, everybody's watching, and finally the Undertaker from under the ring or backstage wherever he is gets on the stage and is like, Kane, I'm coming for you and you will rest in peace. And it was the only way anybody was going to leave that arena. San Jose loved the 98 Rumble.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
That is a really cool story. I got I can go if you don't mind really quick because I told John we were talking before and I said I'm going in here research free. I got nothing. But I caught a couple of minutes, so I wrote down my favorite 5 things. And this isn't in like order until number 1. So number 5, I wrote down the entire 1993 Royal Rumble. Okay, so the whole thing. Bob Backlund comes back in there forever. Heenan's calling him Opie. Like we haven't seen like that was my first time ever seeing. I never heard of Bob Backlund before. He lasts for like 50 minutes. Thought it was great. Taker comes in. You think Taker's going to win the thing? This huge mug in this skin suit with hair covering his privates. It throws him out. I'm in, okay, because Undertaker Kamala is one of my favorite feuds in the history of feuds. And so coming off of that, to have Whippleman come down there with this huge man that just has fake fur all over his dick was great.
It was fake. The fur was fake.
I only found that out just a couple of years ago. Yeah. We thought initially that was
It's crazy.
true puff.
I'm not surprised that you would pick that one, Chris. Just saying.
I got more.
No.
And so we have the Yoko. We have Yoko coming in, dominating, and then the Yoko finish where you have Macho Man, who everybody wants to see Macho Man do this, and he can't. But the reason he can't is he gets the elbow drop and goes for the pin. Which, by the way, what are you doing, Macho? Like, not only have you seen like 5 Royal Rumbles already, but like you're a broadcaster. You're supposed to be a broadcast journalist. You're in here with Bobby Heenan every day, and you hit the elbow, go for the pin. Still, 9-year-old me or 8-year-old me, whatever it was, I was like, what? No, you know what I mean? Like, because I knew he had Yoko beat, but then he got the press over the top. Incredible finish. The entire 93 Rumble I have for my 5th best favorite thing. At 4, Andretti said it, Brett and Luger tie. Awesome. Like, dude, that was awesome. I was still a Brett fan. I was coming up on Luger, and I thought that was great. The entire finish, doing the double main event, thought it was awesome. My number 3 was 96 when Shawn eliminates Diesel. Because as I said to you at the beginning of this, Shawn and Diesel are my 2 favorite wrestlers. And having Shawn and Diesel in last, like, you have Shawn, Diesel, Bulldog, they're going at it. And then Shawn eliminates Bulldog, Diesel eliminates and then Shawn just gives him Diesel the immediate super kick over the top. I did not think that Shawn was going to repeat, especially because Vader came in earlier and threw him out. And like, I just wanted to vomit because I thought Shawn got thrown out from, Big Van Vader. Him getting the win, that was huge. My number 2 was Champion Brock coming at 2020 in number 1, throwing out 13 people. Bro, that was the best thing that WWE's done with Royal Rumble in 20 years. Champion Brock, I'm coming in number 1. I'm going to kill you all. And he killed half of them. Absolutely loved it. And then my number 1 Rumble moment is Bushwhacker Luke. The whole way to the ring. God. And he goes in there. He stops at the ring. He gives a couple of one arm of these. And then he walks in and Earthquake throws him right the hell out. And so he just, the whole way back down to the back. And that was poetry in motion. I will never see anything better than that. That was pro wrestling done perfectly. Bushwhacker Luke, number 1, always and forever. Thank you, Bushwhacker Luke.
I think I might have said this before, but I laughed really, really hard the other night when I was watching an old, like a mid-90s WCW show, and the Shark came out, and they booked him from the Great Barrier Reef, and I exploded. Like they booked him from the Great Barrier Reef. That's so damn funny.
That's amazing. That is amazing. All right, I'll go next.
Yeah.
So like one of my moments is I love the Rock and Mankind I Quit match. I think that was 99 Royal Rumble. I just love that match. I love how gruesome Rock was beating the hell out of Mankind and making him quit. And I love how they did the whole gimmick, mic on his face and say, I quit. A great moment. Another one is Shawn Michaels 96. I actually like that one. That was a really good one. I love how that was executed, which I think that led into the Bret Hart feud. I think at the next, was that the Iron Man match they did? Yeah.
Yep.
So I love that one. Now I go back and watch that one anytime. But I was a huge like you were, Teddy. I'm a huge Bret guy too. But I love me some Shawn because Shawn was just an asshole, and that's pretty much me half the time when I want to be an asshole. And my favorite one is 92 Flair, just because Flair is my guy. In that promo he cuts with it was Mr. Perfect and my God, Heenan are all in the back just laughing and cackling, and Rick just, oh my God, he was amazing. That was an awesome just showcase of that. But I mean, I think that's when I fell in love with like just wrestling itself just because of Ric Flair, but also that particular moment because I'm thinking, my God, like I want to be him. So yeah, that Flair 92 Royal Rumble, I can watch that all day. And I love how they've made that moment of that promo into a meme. Like I see that all the time on Instagram, all the time on Twitter. And it's like, yeah, that's how impactful you are in the world when you just become like a GIF or a meme. So yeah, just love that moment and I watch it all the time. So yeah, that's my guy. Woo.
I'm gonna say when you're talking about when Brock knocked out half the roster, I think it was '94 when Diesel was peak Diesel, when he came in and just kicks the living shit out of everybody for like 12 minutes. And I was like, that's in fourth grade.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like, this is my dude. He's gonna beat 50 if they send him.
Yeah,
I remember like that locked it in. I was like, this is the greatest wrestler. And
then that was you were talking about like the start of the start of the push, man, because then we got into IC and then everything else. But no, in that diesel spot, I guess is what you would call that person that just eliminates everybody. Yeah, that's awesome. And the reason that I picked Brock over that is that Diesel coming in was awesome. Throwing people out was awesome. The fact that you had a champion say, I'm number one.
Risk everything.
Yeah, I thought that was one of the cooler things they've ever done.
Yeah, Diesel set up that position. Brock's like, I can do more. Watch this. Yeah. And then as far as that Bushwhacker memory, the Titus O'Neil thing, I was splitting my sides laughing because the commentators were dogging him on replay like it was ESPN.
Yeah.
Like I didn't get what was happening. I'm like, is that a work? Or is like, did he really just fucking eat shit? And then whoever was doing commentary, I mean, they dogged him for half the match. Someone missed the spot. They're like, well, it wasn't great, but at least it didn't go under the ring.
And what you have to appreciate about that is that that when you're self-aware enough to know, you know what I mean? When you have a guy bite it and literally slide the entire way under the ring, run with it, especially in the internet age, man. I agree. That's right.
As far as
totally
like
rumble, slumble, slide, or whatever. Yeah.
I mean, it's great he owned it up the next year too, of just running down and coming there and then just stopping to make sure that he didn't just go under. He's like, yeah, I know what I did, but also you'll fucking love this.
Yeah, that was really
good.
And then they never wrestled a match again.
I'm so glad he did that in front of our Saudi friends.
Brothers and sisters.
I gotta agree with
bow to royalty. Low bow.
I gotta agree with everyone. Everyone that said the '96 Royal Rumble, because Shawn Michaels super kicking Diesel out of the ring, one of the highlights of that fucking time. Fun thing, I was like looking up info on that Rumble earlier today. There were 5 other matches, and 3 of them ended in DQs. Only 2 of them had clean wins. The rest of them were all just people fucking coming in and messing stuff up. But other than '96, I gotta say '97. 97 is going to be my favorite, just because that's, 17-year-old me being an Austin mark and seeing him get away with getting thrown out of the ring, the refs being busy and totally not seeing it. I'm making air quotes here for listeners. And then just running back in after Bret Hart thinks that he's won and just throwing Bret Hart over. Like, that set up one of the greatest feuds, I think, for like the late '90s, because that Bret Austin stuff, especially leading up to like Austin passing out with blood running down his face and all that, like that was phenomenal.
Is that the one where Austin sits up in the corner, like panics himself and just like checks the wrists?
Yeah.
97.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it's such a like Austin visual of like send more bodies.
Yeah, and what's really cool.
Send them.
And what's really cool about that, Simba, that you said that still holds is that was a really cool arc for Bret. Whereas Shawn, because I was like when I was a Bret fan, and then I hated Shawn when Shawn was like the pretty boy heel, and then when Shawn started to turn good, like, oh dude, he had me all in, and so then I was always team Shawn over Bret, but that's where, and I don't know if this is Brett's idea or if this was, from the higher ups or whatever, but that was very brilliant, that the storytelling that went to Brett's so good and Brett's just getting screwed again and again and again and again and again and again. And you had that incident with Sid in the cage, and you had obviously the WrestleMania double turn. Like, there was, if that was all on purpose, like, that is a standing ovation to a character arc, to say, like, you are really, really showing how this guy slowly went from white meat to like batter, but still not bad, but like, one of those like correct heels. But like, you people don't get me. I thought that was awesome. Yeah, that was a really good point.
I think I think just to throw in here, like that era when the Hart Foundation were like the bad faction. That's my favorite time in wrestling history. Is the bad Hart Foundation.
Would that have been what, 97, right? That's 97?
It's 97.
It's 97. Yeah.
I cared so much.
Yeah.
So much. I hated the Hart Foundation. I don't know. In looking back on it, it's so good. The hatred kid me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's exactly where I'm at right now. The Hart Foundation like just formed, and I think I'm on King of the Ring 97. And yeah, like that whole build of Brett throughout that whole time of him just like what you said, Teddy, just getting screwed, and he just keeps getting a little bit more bad every single week, and then he finally does it with finally turning and creating the foundation. It's so good.
Well, what's nice about that entire year, though? I was about to say that whole entire year you had some great factions of obviously Hart Foundation, DX, the Nation, and then obviously WCW had the NWO,
the DOA,
Los Boricuas.
Those Boricuas. Come on, Milton, you're missing the two best ones of the entire era.
I hear you. I don't disagree. I just think like that whole year, though, of looking back on it, is like factions nowadays are kind of like, they're very hit and miss. But you had 6, 7 solid teams where you're like, okay, every week you're tuning in and you're like, okay, I gotta watch them. I gotta see how their story's progressing. Now you have 1, maybe 2.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, and they're not even interesting half the time. So I think that 97 year for me, I think is one of my favorite times in wrestling for sure.
Yeah, it's really cool because I never really saw the new gen stuff. So I like to see the arc that they did to getting to 97 is so much fun when you see that the whole way through, and then you get to 97. It makes me appreciate 97 a lot more than what I already.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, I keep telling like anyone that asks me, why do you love wrestling so much? I always say like from 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000 was that time for me. But I said that 97 year really changed the game. I'm like, again, I was a weekly watcher of wrestling 4 days out of the week, because of you. It was can't miss TV.
Yeah.
We were all around the same age here. So how many times were we watching a pay-per-view Sunday, going to school, talking about it with our friends, watching Raw and Nitro that next day, talking about it on Tuesday. Then when you had Thunder, which was what Thunder was, and then you had SmackDown, and just every day was something. You had all these gimmicks, all these groups where you're like, okay, it was amazing, and it just got better and better for that 4-year period. But that 97 year really, for me, just made it flourish, and it was at its height, I think, in the sense of like my fandom. So yeah, I have to agree with that, man. That year was amazing. So
yeah, who wants to go next on our favorite Rumble moments?
Did we all go? I think we might all went.
Y'all go? I would
if anybody says whatever Kofi's gonna do, I'm gonna leave.
Thank you.
Oh, dude, Trav, I got one that's gonna even worse. They're already setting up that gymnast girl in NXT to be the female Kofi, and it's already pissing me off. She's really good, really good athlete, but dude, they're already setting it up, man. It's already
Andretti, Martha, they've been doing that with Naomi. All you got to do is be black and athletic, and then you might not get eliminated if you get thrown over the top. They did that with Naomi like 2 or 3 years in a row because they've only run the Girls Rumble, whatever it was, 2 or 3 years in a row. Now, Casey Cannizzaro or what's her name? Not Alba Fire.
It's Sol Rucka. Sol Rucka is the girl.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the American Ninja Warrior girl.
No, they kind of. What's interesting about that is they kind of got away from that with her a little bit, and now the girl that's doing all the quote unquote Kofi stuff is the like surfer gymnast girl with the dyed blonde hair. She's a really good athlete, but they're already doing enough of that stuff with her.
Yeah.
That's already.
Yeah, but they did that. I think it was the last 2 or 3 years. Naomi, man, that was Naomi got the Kofi spot where it was throw her over and then watch her, dance and prance and do whatever. That being said, I hate to say this, but I love the Kofi spot. I absolutely love it. I'm never gonna get mad. Like, I literally want to see him like walk on like beer cans or whatever to get back into the ring because I think it's awesome. Like, here's the thing.
I wish someone else could do the Kofi spot. I'll say it like that because he's.
Well, it's my thing is I don't want anyone else to do it. Like, yeah. I because it's the Kofi spot. Let it be the Kofi spot. I will get pissed if they have Austin Theory start to do it. Now, if they do it right, maybe I wouldn't be mad. But like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, because it's the Kofi spot, now I don't have a problem with it. But I understand what you're saying is that like it is certainly one of those things that can get old quick. But I don't know, man. It's more endearing for me.
It's only once a year.
Yeah, it's once a year.
Anybody see the real sleepy girl in NXT got thrown out of that battle royal and landed on top of a pillow, and they tried saying her feet didn't hit the floor?
I didn't, but that's awesome.
It was not good.
She won Guilty Pleasure of the Year in the award show.
That sleepy girl's awesome. She's awesome. If nobody else has Rumble things, I just wanted to say this really fast. And the fact that Simba brought up the 96 Rumble again that's everything to me. I'm going to name you a couple of people from the 96 Royal Rumble because when I was putting together my moments, Sean Super King Diesel was there. And I was like, who was there? That 96 Royal Rumble had, and this is, I told you I'm a gimmick fan, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Henry O. Godwin, Bob Backlund, broken Bob Backlund. All right, crazy Bob Backlund. You had, of course, Jerry Lawler, the Bob Sparky Plug, King Mabel. You had the Christian Jake, the Snake Roberts, 974-pound Yoko, the 1-2-3 Kid in the corporation. You had Vader's debut, which, bro, you got 11 or 10-year-old me seeing Vader killing Sting for 4 years and then all of a sudden showing up over here. Whoa, right?
Teddy,
that was awesome.
No BS, Teddy. When I was a kid, when he was wrecking Sting, I legit would cry. I thought Sting was dead half the time.
Yeah.
I was like, that's amazing. And Vader was that guy.
And him coming to WWF, I was like, well, that's it. That's over. Like he's everything.
It's great that you brought up Lawler there.
We have Squat Teamer 1 and 2, which if you guys don't remember the Squat Teamers, I don't either, except they were awesome. They were 900 pounds. They were 4.5 feet tall. They looked the same. They didn't even have names. They just had numbers. Let's play that. I'm in, dude. That's, I love it.
I watched that one today. When those guys came out, I was all in, dude. I was like, this is so.
Yes.
Yes. Teddy, that needs to be your Halloween outfit. That needs to be your Halloween costume next year.
Squat team. I make Mrs. Mongoose and Baby Mongoose go as squat team 1, 2, and 3. Actually, the problem with that is the kid's into too many other things. So maybe I can get the missus to go squat team 1 and 2. But yeah, man. So squat team 1 and 2. We have Hakushi, Japanese shit drawn all over him. Love it. We have Corporation Tatanka and Kama and the Ringmaster, all representing the corporation, which is one of my favorite factions of the mid-90s. You have Diesel and Sean, Isaac Yankum, you have Jobert, Marty Jannetty, and then you finish at number 30 with Duke Drosy. Dude, the 96 Royal Rumble, top to bottom, is my favorite Royal Rumble of all time, just looking straight at names. Strictly at names. It's my favorite Royal Rumble of all time.
Hey, what year did Michaels throw him through the window? What year was that?
Jannetty?
Yeah.
92, because
Okay, so it's been a little
93
while.
was when Jannetty came back. And then there was actually a Royal Rumble match between Michaels and Jannetty at the 93 Royal Rumble that I remember very kindly. And I made Bake watch that, and I told John it was going to be one of the best matches he ever saw, and it's like a solid like 4.5 out of 10 especially by modern standards.
I was curious because I watched that today, and Janetti's not in there very long in that Rumble.
And
The one you
No, when we get to 96, he's back on the crack or whatever. I don't. Sorry, Marty. He's having some problems by that time.
He's on that devil's candy heavy.
Now,
Yeah,
96, you're talking about Lawler. Is that the one where Lawler gets up, gets in, gets thrown out, and goes back to the announce desk?
I think it's later. I think it's later.
Oh, that is great.
It's unreal.
I was just gonna say I don't know if that is, but that's a great moment too. You're right about that. Absolutely right about that.
He also does the bit where he hides under the ring, and he doesn't want to get thrown out, so he hides under the ring. That's like 96 or something like that, 95.
Yeah,
that initial Lawler run was awesome.
Well, the Lawler one I saw today was when he stops mid-sentence and takes off the headset and jumps in the ring and gets thrown out on his head and then gets the headset back on and finishes the sentence.
Yep, that's what Stag just said.
Yeah,
So do you know what year that was?
I'm going to say 97.
I think
Might be
96 or 97. But yeah, that whole Lawler run, I appreciate him so much more now, because when I was an uneducated, stupid fan, because this is all way before my time, because I'm like 99 to 07 is like my wheelhouse, and so like anything with Lawler before I hated. I just wanted him to be on commentary, but he is fantastic. I absolutely love Lawler now.
Yeah, John was born in 2008. But that's the what's funny about Lawler. I was just kidding. You were born 2000 XXX. Yeah, 2000 question mark or 1990 question mark. I don't know.
Some of that stuff that, like, some of the stuff that Lawler says is so funny. It's so like outrageous by today's standards. Like, I heard when Mr. Perfect was on commentary during that the Body Donnas and Smoking Guns match, and one of the ones I was watching, McMahon goes, "You can hardly tell the Smoking Guns apart from behind." And Mr. Perfect goes, "Well, I don't really look at him from behind." And then they showed Sonny on the screen, and Perfect goes, "I can tell you what that looks like from behind."
And you know what's crazy for me was that I would watch Raw, and I would watch with primetime wrestling before Raw, and then I would watch Mania, and then Superstars, or what was the Sunday show?
Live
WWF All American.
All Access.
What was the Sunday? All America, something like that. Yeah. Whatever it was. And the reason I say that is that I knew Jerry Lawler as this like just jerk, loser Burger King heel. And then I was at my grandparents' house, and this is still in the early 90s, whenever he first came over to WWF. And there was a late night broadcast of a USWA show. And Jerry Lawler's like this like champion, like this awesome guy. And that was before that I was keen to like other promotions and things like that. And so I just remember thinking, like, you people are so stupid. Like, you don't know that he's the Burger King. You know what I mean? Like all that, man. I don't know.
It's so good. The only thing that made me think about you mentioning Bushwhacker Luke, Teddy, the only thing that I have to add to that is another favorite Rumble moment of mine is, I think it was 15. It was the one in Philly whenever they absolutely turned on Roman. But that was like the first Rumble I had watched in years. That was the Rumble that I came back to. And I was over at Trey's place, it literally in like a closet. And I'm sitting in the room was so small that I'm sitting in a stairwell and watching the Rumble, and just had a case of Bud Heavies, and I'm just throwing them down, and the Boogeyman rolls up, and I popped so huge for Boogeyman. I don't know why, but I did, and then I nearly cried. Tears may or may not have been shed whenever he got thrown out by Bray Wyatt instantly, and that ruined my night. That Boogeyman got eliminated so quickly. That would absolutely hurt.
Yeah, it's the little things, man. And the reason that the Luke thing is so important to me is that bushwhacker walk is so great. And he stops on the ring ropes, dude. And that's what I never forget. He stops and he goes like, ah! And he walks in and gets tossed right the hell out. And then just goes right back to bushwhacker walking, which I think is one of the most important demonstrations of resiliency that any young person could ever see. You know what I'm saying? Like if you get your dreams crushed, you just keep bushwhacker walking. I would have to make a T-shirt that says that. Keep bushwhacker walking. Make that a hashtag.
That dude got paid probably $100,000 for that spot, and it's real fun.
Yeah.
Well, we got the Rumble this weekend, and this one, it could go. I mean, it's pretty obvious, at least on the men's side, what's going to happen. At least from what I think. I personally think that it's going to be the Road Show. I'm hoping that it's the Road Show. And what are we thinking happens outside of that?
Oh, well, first of all, please, WWE, do it right. Do it right. Cody's got to go over. It's got to be the Cody show. Like, that is what it is. But other than that, I want to see Rhea Ripley do well in the women's. That's what I want to see.
That was my biggest fear going into this podcast today. I mean, we're recording this on Wednesday, and there's only 7 of 30 women who have been announced for that thing, and it's in 3 days. And for the men, I think there's only 15 or 12 or something like that. So
it's only 15.
Pretty strange. It's pretty strange that we're 3 days out and we haven't heard about more people that are going to be in the damn thing.
Well, maybe they'll do the 3 faces of Elias.
True
that.
Wow.
Do that.
That's because Diesel was getting his knees fixed again.
Yeah. Look, I mean, Stag, you said, hope WWE does the obvious. Let's be real here. The obvious is going to be Baron Corbin getting over and winning the whole damn. So let's just
with long hair.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, we're all obviously going to try to watch it and figure it out. But I mean, I just want it to be a good Rumble, and if we get some good surprises, let's go. I want it to be like it was where, when I was a kid and I'm thinking, oh my God, I haven't seen this guy in forever or this girl in forever. I would love for a Trish Stratus to show up just to be in a women's match or a Lita or just, some nostalgia. Give me some good nostalgia. I know that's what we're all here for.
Well, this is the first Rumble with Triple H in charge. So hopefully we'll get exactly that.
Yeah, I mean, and I think with NXT that he runs, I mean, NXT is a good show. Chris, you're still trying to get me on that train of really getting on NXT. When I do watch it, I'm very impressed with it. So I trust that Triple H, if he's going to do what he needs to do, he's going to map this out correctly. And I know I joke about Baron, but I mean, look, as long as it's somebody that we know it's ready to take that next step in the company that will challenge for a title and at least, draw money, I'm all about it. But at least do it right. Don't just do this gimmick crap where it doesn't make any sense. Tell a story and make sure it fits for the next plan of action, what you want to do in the A. So, yeah, as long as it's good, I'm good. I'm invested.
I was telling the wife this. I think that there needs to be 2 stories to the Rumble this year. I think that the first half of the Rumble needs to be, if I have the book, the first half of this Rumble needs to be all about Sammy and the Bloodline. Get them in there and have all of them there at one point, but the ring is loaded. And this is we're talking max, this is 18, 19. That's where we're at in the match. And then have Sammy and Solo start to work together at one point. But then Solo turns on Sammy, throws him out, and then maybe you get an Uso or something in there at one point. And then maybe it's Jay, and then Jay throws Solo out, and then that builds that story even more of Jay is going to do whatever it takes to stand up and for Sammy, even though one of them is playing each other, we haven't figured it out yet. And then that just keeps the Bloodline thing going, and then you make sure you get that out of the way early, and then the anticipation keeps building because everyone wanted Sammy. Sammy's gone, and then now all the fans were waiting for we're waiting for Cody because we don't have anybody we want to cheer yet. And then Cody hits at like 27 or 28 or whatever. I don't think he necessarily has to be at 30 because then it's too obvious. I think it has to be before that. But then when his music hits, then everyone's fully invested and he can go on his run and get his moment. And then I would book out later what to do with the bloodline, but that can be for another pod. But I feel like if you do it like that, that builds a little bit more to the story for the bloodline, and it keeps the heat completely off of Roman and keeps it all on Solo, and it still makes Jay look like a baby face, and everyone still wants the sympathy for Sammy at the same time.
When does Logan Paul show up?
Oh, I'm hoping Logan Paul shows up on Raw the next night.
Right. Well, that's not bad booking. That's actually not bad.
I'd be in, John, but here's my only change. And if somebody said this before, excuse me, I promise I'm not hawking any ideas, but listening to you say that is just what made me think. So I like your scenario, but I would actually have the entire bloodline be in the first 15-ish. And then I would have the entire bloodline clear the ring. So it's only the entire bloodline in the ring.
Yeah.
And then I would have your Jey Uso or somebody throw out Sammy. And so then that way, you know what I mean? Like, or if you wanted to say like even Solo, and then you can have more things there. But I think that having only the bloodline in the ring, 4 or 5 people, and then they get rid of Sammy, then boo, 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 and you can set up Sammy versus Roman. I think that the goal should be Sammy versus Roman at Montreal.
That would be
because I hate to say this, but I'm sure they're paying Cody more money than we can think of. And Cody has this incredible arc, and I would hate to see that just go pooped on right to death. And so you got to give the people what they want. And so screw Sammy in the Rumble now. Give Sammy his title shot at Elimination Chamber or on Raw or whatever you want to do, or night 1 of WrestleMania. Do you know what I'm saying? And then have Cody seal the deal. But I think that, and I'm assuming that they're thinking that WrestleMania is Sammy and KO versus the Usos. So how you get to there without making the people hate Cody, that's the thing. I don't want the people to hate Cody. I didn't want them to hate Cody last time, but that's the only thing that makes me nervous.
Yeah, so what I was going to add to that is that Montreal show is have Sammy turn with Kevin on the bloodline. That was my build out scenario, but I love your scenario too. But do we think that if we are going that direction with possibly, do we think The Rock is coming? Like, do we think that is all smoke that they were blowing earlier this week? Do we think that The Rock might be? They can't bring The Rock out for the Rumble, or that kills Cody's moment. But
I don't think there's any chance at all that Austin versus Brock Lesnar was even a real thing. I don't think there's any chance of that.
I think that was all a lie. I think that was all smoke.
Yeah, and if that was leaked, then The Rock has to be a thing, because to me that makes people like us go on shows like this and say, "Oh my gosh, how can they book Brock versus Stone Cold?" You know what I mean? Like it's only because The Rock's the real thing. Which, whenever The Rock's not the real thing, then we can all be sad. But I think that's a red herring.
Yeah. Also, The Rock's contract says he can't lose, so if he shows up, he's the Rumble winner.
But here's an interesting. Maybe this might be a way to do it. Is if Rock does come out, it's gonna kill Cody deader than hell. But if they do a double elimination at the end where they can't tell who lost or who eliminated, if they hit the floor at the same time, one person then they do a match at Montreal where they figure out who fights night 1. The loser fights night 1, winner gets night 2. Maybe that might be an idea. they're definitely not doing that. But I don't. I feel like there's too much smoke for.
Dude, and this is just me. Like, I dare them to have The Rock come out at 29 and Cody come out at 30, and then Cody just throws Rock right the fuck out. Just yeah, you know what I mean? Just straight gives him the Duke the Dumpster Drosy, just straight over the top.
Yeah,
which obviously isn't going to happen.
Yeah, just do it the way Hurricane did Rock way back in the day. You throw him out.
But the only thing to me that's interesting is that they had scheduled that bloodline christening of or whatever recognition segment for Roman, and that should have been where Rock comes. And because it was canceled for medical reasons and things like that, not because like plans changed, I wouldn't be surprised. They could do that angle the week before WrestleMania. WrestleMania is going to sell out, dude. There's no problem about that.
Yeah.
If you do that angle anytime between now and whatever the date is, April 2nd or March 20, whatever, 1 billion people will then tune in to see it. You know what I'm saying? That does not need to happen today. Like the second, the Rock is literally my kid knows who the Rock is. My kid doesn't know who Arnold Schwarzenegger is. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, that's what I mean is that's something that would transcend everybody, and they can do that as late as they want to. And the second they do, that's a record-breaking move. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do wait forever. Yeah. Like it could literally be SmackDown before the show, and Rock comes out and says, "Buddy, you ain't it." And then
I don't know.
10 billion people will watch that show.
Have they done enough heinous things for The Rock to come back and call him out?
Vince is back.
The only thing is, Roman's never lost. Roman's never lost. That's my thing. It's sorry to talk over you, but Roman's never lost. That's my only thing. That's the thing. Is The Rock can say, "Oh, Candy smack your," or whatever, "Smack down your candy ass." "Oh, Candy smack your candy ass," whatever. Yeah, the Rock can say that. So at any time, and everybody will just, circle jerk each other.
Do we have any?
True though.
Yeah, it is. That's totally true. Do we have any sleeper picks of who might be like a surprise, like a legend or something like that? I think Edge might show up. Has he been hurt?
Yeah, 2
years ago.
What?
Didn't Edge get hurt? I have no idea. I can't remember.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Literally nobody. I know you hate.
I think he just kind of finishes like quick return run. I think he was healthy and wanted to come back, but not for forever.
You want a sleeper pick? Crazy as it is Muto. He's been doing this entire retirement run.
Huh?
I would not be surprised if we saw Muto, not the great Muda, but if we saw Muto, because Muda is done at Great Muda Bye Bye or whatever that show is called. But if we saw Muto come out and just take the obligatory, "Hey, do you know who I am?" And if you don't, whatever, and get thrown out,
Look,
I wouldn't be surprised.
They've had worse. They've had worse to do guest spots in the Rumble.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't expect it, but I wouldn't be surprised just because he's doing this entire tour. So
I'm hoping for Mordecai to come back.
Oh.
I'll take Laparca with a chair.
I'll take Glacier.
Ooh.
He'll come back.
If we're going pie in the sky, speaking of Muda, Hakushi just wrestled Muda. Bring him back with all the characters painted all over him. I don't know. If Great Muda came out, I would lose my mind. Like, I could care less about Cody Rhodes and his stupid little pick. Oh, yeah, it was all purple and torn. You give me Great Muta with shit painted all over him. Yeah, that's who I'm rooting for. So give it to me.
I'll go. Give me the Warlord. I want the Warlord to come back and win this thing.
He can't be alive, though, right?
Oh, he's alive. He's alive. He's
sure?
hopefully he's alive and he's bigger than he's ever been.
He's in parts unknown.
Incredible amount of
He's
steroids.
alive. He's dead inside.
Yeah, that's probably it. I'm going to say that that's the winner. I'm on this Warlord.
He's alive.
If JBL doesn't make a
Dude,
grand return,
that goes back to that Warlord Kurt Hennig story where Warlord asked Hennig to give him a poke with some juice, and Hennig hit him, and then it bounced off his butt cheeks or whatever, and he said, "Hey, buddy, I think you're full." Like, that's so awesome. Not the rampant steroid abuse or anything, but that story's so awesome. All right.
Is he dead?
If we're gonna have anyone come back, I want to see fucking ICP. I want them to come back.
Simba,
and
this is sex to my ears. Keep going.
But yeah, I want like fucking Great Malenko to kink in. I don't know what I'm fucking thinking now. Kick in. And just either Shaggy 2 Dope or Violent J just come out, and then like immediately next number gets drawn. It's the other one. They're in the ring doing their thing. Just wearing JCW shirts, going all out. Like, I want that. I want, like, for dudes that are like so deep into wrestling, like, I don't even like their fucking music, but as like wrestlers, like JCW is fucking great, and I want that. I want them to come out and just do that.
So Simba, they come out wearing a pair of Rasheed Wallace high top, like, black pumps or some shit like that. Listen, I'm talking about go full like mid-90s outfits.
We're fantasy booking their gear.
Yeah, literally. So we got
black jean shorts,
I feel bad talking for Simba, because Simba's the only person in this group that doesn't like their music, I'm assuming. As maybe the only person in this group that does like that. As maybe the only person in this group that does like their music. I think you're the only person that likes your music.
Teddy, you already know how we get down on ICP. Let's go. Like, we.
Oh, dude, ICP would pop me to the moon. Yes. The only real issue is that Jay has heart issues that are going to stop him from touring. However, Shaggy 2 Dope is lighter than Jay, doesn't have the heart issues that Jay does.
He can do all the work.
Also tried to assault Fred Durst on stage just like 2 or 3 years ago. So if we had Shaggy 2 Dope, like, my voice inflection started to change. That's the most exciting thing I've thought about. I want ICP. I'm team give me ICP in 2023. It even rhymes. It just makes too much sense.
Actually, I'll tell you what. If we get Violent J, I want Shaggy 2 Dope to come out in the fursuit that he wears when he goes to those conventions with his daughter. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I want to see Savio Vega come back with the Caribbean strap.
Hey, we're actually pro Savio Vega on this podcast.
I love Savio Vega.
He's really good. The guy's super good.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the Caribbean strap match. I missed that, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. How about your boy?
There would be no Stone Cold if we did not have Steve Austin versus Savio Vega Caribbean strap matches. That's true.
They're all good too. They're all good matches.
Baker, this is in your wheelhouse. How about your boy Carlito? Have him come back.
Yeah, he's gonna spit in the face of people who aren't cool.
Hey, I saw he's still working. So I saw Carlito on an indie show on IWTV the other night. He looks incredible shape. But I mean, it's one that's probably the same deal with that guy as what it's always been. When he wants to be good, he's awesome. When he doesn't want to be good, he looks like shit.
Right.
He doesn't know what he wants to do.
I remember when he came back, what was it, like 2-3 years ago? Like, he looked phenomenal. Like,
he was stacked.
Insane shape. Better shape than what he was whenever he was in his big run. Like,
yeah,
it was insane. What about the women? Or who do we think is going to win? Or I think we're pretty obvious that Cody's going to win the Rumble for the men's side. But
I hope.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley. If it's not Rhea Ripley, they better have a good idea.
I don't know who, because they
that-
said no Rousey. So who other than Rhea would even be?
Right.
Maybe Bailey, but Bailey's going to probably go against Becky at Mania, right?
And you can do so many things where Becky shoehorns herself in. Like I think it's got to be Rhea. Like in terms of a dominant person, if she comes in at 1 or she comes in at 30, Rhea is the get out of here. I'm the man. I think, Rhea I think is a slam dunk.
I hope so. I really do.
Yeah, I don't really know. I can only think of some, like, they really push Raquel. I don't think she's going to win it, but I think she could be like in late, like one of the final 4, maybe, possibly. Because
like I said, they've only named 7. There's only 7 people that have even declared for it at this point.
Well, certainly,
if it isn't Rhea, then I think that I actually wouldn't have a problem with this either. Is you give Roxy the Royal Rumble win and let her be your little prodigy, and then you go title versus title, NXT and Raw Women's, SmackDown Women's, whatever. I think that's all right too.
She's not ready for
Roxanne Perez. Dude, she's awesome. I think she's awesome.
Longer, she can't talk. She can't. That's the problem with her. She's not ready for that yet. I think 2 years from now she's going to be, but she can't talk.
I gotcha. And my first pick's Rhea Ripley. And so if it's not Rhea, then that would who I go to for my 2. But yeah, I understand. And I haven't seen enough for promo things for me to even comment. But dude, she works so good. Like every time I watch what's Roxanne Perez now. Every time I watch Roxanne Perez match, they're good. They're very good. And they need more very good people on the main roster. And so I wouldn't have a problem with that. Even if they gave her a mouthpiece, man, that's another thing too, is she doesn't have to talk if they put the right person next to her.
Yeah, babyface of the manager. I don't know if they do it at this point. It's just a little different world that we're in now, I think, with the good guys.
Yeah, that's true.
Santino Marella in a wig.
Yeah. Or
Santino
just have
Marella
X-Pac
just
win the
showed up.
Women's Royal Rumble. I'm a huge person just letting X-Pac win everything. So
at least let him compete.
Right, exactly. Maybe X-Pac gets thrown out by Rhea for Rhea to win the Royal Rumble. X-Pac throws out.
Just a shot. Show what he's got.
Dude,
let's give him a shot.
Dude, think about it. You have X-Pac throw out Roxanne Perez. You have X-Pac, Roxanne Perez feud for WrestleMania. And then you have Rhea throw out X-Pac. And then there you go. Boom.
When you think DX or NWO appearance, you're always excited because X-Pac has to be there. He's he's never busy. He's never busy.
That's the best part. You're exactly right, dude. That's exactly right.
He's never been double booked in his life.
Yep. You got Sean Waltman no matter what.
It's really weird that we're in a space now where Waltman looks the most healthiest out of anybody in DX. Like, he looked like the only person that might not die tomorrow.
Right, which he's actually had his butthole ripped. He had RAs.
Wait a minute. We're not gonna breeze over that. What are you talking about? Got his butthole ripped.
You don't know this?
No.
Oh, dude, he literally suffered an anus tear for a Bronco Buster. And this is from someone who delivers Bronco Busters every Friday night. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't imagine tearing my butthole during that.
There's a video of him doing the Bronco Buster, and it's literally the mic picks him up going, "Oh, I tore it again." And he just fucking tore his asshole again.
Yeah.
Y'all got me fucked up.
Dude, your anus is like this big. Imagine tear it, dude. The tear. Not for me, pal. Not for me. That's why I'm giving overhand rights. That's why I'm giving chops. That's why I'm giving lariats. I'm doing nothing that involves my butthole as part of the mechanism of me delivering a move.
I think I think Mongoose just won a Marconi Award for that radio right there.
The worst part about that for X-Pac is that he was a known shitter in everything, in everyone's bags, hats. I mean, that really didn't serve well for his ribs.
Right. And then all of a sudden you start leaking legit out of your butt.
Yeah.
Shame.
Karma.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. Poop in somebody's bag. Now you got to poop in a bag by force because you ripped your butthole doing a Bronco Buster. Yeah. Actually, good for you, God.
I'm trying to find who he did it against.
I like it. You just gave props to God for ripping Sean Waltman's asshole twice.
He works in mysterious ways.
Yes, he does. He certainly does.
Bada boom, realest guys in a room. You guys know.
The only thing we haven't talked about that's on the card yet is this Mountain Dew Pitch Black match, which this could go one of two ways. It could be fantastic, or it could absolutely be a coat hanger. And
I was gonna say it's only gonna be fantastic if Pitch Black actually comes back and stays. That's all I give a shit about. That fucking soda was delicious. They should fucking pay me Pepsi Cola right now. I'm gonna job squad out for that. That's the only thing I care about. Just give me Pitch Black. Fuck the rest of the match.
I love LA Knight, and I couldn't care less.
Yeah. Dude, LA Knight's so good, dude.
He is. He gets me popping every time he's on the screen. It's just awesome.
Yeah, because I remember Andretti and we instantly started talking about him whenever he was on Power, and he stood out right away. Like, he is fantastic, and I didn't see any of his stuff beforehand, but I love LA Knight.
Well, I can go back even farther with him because he wrestled at NWA Hollywood, which was a TV taping that I went to in Glendale, and I thought I was only going to be there for like 2 hours. And at the 6-hour mark, I was like, I don't think I can take any more of this. So I got up and left. And that was also the show where in the big who's the real big heavy set Latino comedian, Iglesias, is that his name?
Fluffy.
Julio Iglesias.
That dude was in the front row. He couldn't get
up. Fluffy.
They couldn't get up. There was like 3 or 4 people trying to get that guy out of his chair whenever he had to stand up. I'll never forget that either. But Eli Drake was there. He wrestled a couple times at that taping, and I was like, holy shit, this guy's awesome. And then the funny thing about that was a couple months or maybe a year later, he got invited to NXT or Florida Championship Wrestling, whatever it was at the time, and the guy just no-showed for 2 tryouts. He just didn't show up.
I heard he was a big asshole, like backstage and stuff like that. Like everyone hated him, and that aided in him no showing, which is a big deal. But yeah, I'm excited for I'm excited for LA Knight to get away from that, to get to something serious.
So Baker, that's funny about LA Knight. So literally last week, this is very personal to me because last week I was at the gym, and your boy Jerry walks up to me in the middle of my workout, and he's like, Milton, he's like, do you know who LA Knight is? I'm like, yeah, I know who he is, NXT, all that stuff like that. He's like, he comes to the gym sometimes. So apparently he works out at Alpha once in a while. Literally, I swear to God. And I was like, Jerry, I don't believe this. He's like, dude, yeah, his brother comes in here, and I'm thinking little small town Chambersburg. I know the guys from Hagerstown, but like, he comes to Alpha and works out here to prepare for a Royal Rumble. Come on. Like, so your boy's like been like pimping out his name at Alpha, just let you know.
I need proof.
Same here. I was asking for it, but I haven't seen him yet.
There's no way.
In a less conspiratorial prong, Mountain Dew Pitch Black was released in Halloween 2004.
That's amazing.
And then it was a permanent flavor until 2019. Simba, you said that? I didn't even know that was an actual flavor. And
it was great.
It's been a thing. And so now, not only do I want to see this match, I want Shaggy 2 liters sprayed during the match. Like, if we're gonna do it that way, if that's an actual brand of soda, then give me a bunch of juggalos and juggahos
Popping bottles.
Give it to me.
What's the
Yes.
flavor? What is the flavor of
It'd
pitch
be
black?
It's grape. It's just
it'd be
grape
ICPC
Mountain Dew.
come back-
Okay.
ICPC come back with the Fago with the Mountain Dew pitch black. Just
Surge.
The great
Wow.
Mountain Dew. Let's rock. That's it. If they don't do this, they're wrong. Not us. They're wrong. Them.
Yeah.
I love that you didn't know that was not a legit soda.
No, I had no idea that, but I appreciate Simba for saying that because that helped me. You know,
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. I'm assuming we might get a Uncle Howdy reveal or whatever they're doing with his Uncle Howdy. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's Bo Dallas, but I don't know what. Who knows what it's gonna be? It's gonna be a wild cinematic deal, and who knows? It might make us hate Bray Wyatt again, which we all.
well, the thing is, and it depends on who's in charge. If it's Triple H, it'll make sense. So if it is Bo Dallas, that actually makes sense. Like you're the dude's brother, so you're allowed to hate him and be all corrupted. If you're Vince, then Uncle Howdy is Alexis's Ryan Cabrera. I don't know who it is. You know what I'm saying? But like some weirdo person pulling the strings. That yeah. So it depends on how logical they want to make something illogical.
I don't know. But I am excited for LA Knight though. The only thing that sucks for me is that I wish he was in the Royal Rumble, but I don't think he's gonna be because of this match, which sucks.
I mean, he might be. They got 15 spots.
yeah, we've seen it before. So
It is nuts because you remember, like, maybe you don't, John, but they would do the thing where it was, hey, I'm Sean Mooney, and here's the participants for the Royal Rumble, and it'd be all of them. And at the start of the show, it would be, and here is the Royal Rumble, and it would be Vince, and it would go through 30 names, and so I don't know, like unless they have 15 crazy things up their sleeve, like they're not going to make people happy if one of the 15 names ends up being Shelton Benjamin, and then another one ends up being Elias, and then Elias's brother
Ezekiel.
Elroy. Ezekiel, thank you. That should be Elroy. Yeah, dude, bring the Jetson family out there. You know, here's George Jetson, son Elroy or whatever. Yeah, dude, fuck it, party. Let's party.
But that's. Do you want to cover the women's match or anything like that? I mean, this Bliss match, I don't really know if I really care about.
I don't even know what it is.
It's Bliss versus Belair for the Raw Women's title.
It should be Pitch Black. If it isn't, then rebook it.
Are there any other flavors of Mountain Dew that we could bring back for the match?
Live wire.
No, everything else is trash.
Dude, yo, give me Bliss and whatever her name is in a Baja Blast match. Make it on the beach.
You gotta save that for Bash at the Beach.
Same thing. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, then I do that. That's why I book it.
But that's our review of Royal Rumble 2023. Do we got anything else we want to cover before we head out?
I'm good. I don't even know what other matches are going to be there, so I'm going to be pleasantly surprised on Saturday.
Yeah.
The match card. So here we go. All right, we got obviously the men and women's Royal Rumble. We have the championship between Reigns and Owens, Raw Women's title, Belair versus Bliss, and then this Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. Those are what is listed currently as of right now. Who knows? They might add something on Friday night.
Or 6 matches on Friday night.
If they add 6 matches, I will be pissed.
Maybe they'll throw out some AAA guys in the free for all.
Yeah.
Could be. And listen, we can wrap this up. I could talk about each one of those matches for 45 minutes. You won't get you won't get anything that matters, but shoot, man, I'll let it go. I'll let it fly. But if not, we can wrap it up. We're good.
We'll wrap it up. thank you all for showing up here today for our Royal Rumble roundtable. But before we go, we're going to do something really special. It's going to be outside of the roundtable. Andretti and I are going to come back on the other side of this break, and we're going to do the very first Podski Royal Rumble. All right. Hopefully you all enjoyed the Podski roundtable for the Royal Rumble, but now we are at the big part of the show, and this is the first ever Podski Royal Rumble. We have 30 contestants. The music is getting ready to play. And we have Andretti along here for the ride, so I'm ready. Andretti put together a list of 30. I don't know who all 30 superstars. This is going to be a shock to me as it is to you, the listeners. So,
well, sweet. So for the rules here, so we've got a Google sheet, right? And we've got 30 names on it. Now, obviously, the listeners don't know who these 30 people are. So what we're going to do, just like it would be in a regular Royal Rumble, like you don't know who's coming to the ring, right? So what we'll do is, the rules are you're either gonna pass and keep everybody in the ring as is, okay, or you throw somebody out as we bring people in. But every time there's a move, a pass or a throw out, we bring in the next guy.
So we get all 30 in the ring at the same time.
Conceivably. Now, Pat Patterson would not like that because I think he had a rule where he only wanted no more than 7 people in the ring at the same time. So there was that's probably a pretty smart thing whenever you've got all those arms and all those ankles flying around in there. We got some heavyweights in here too. So we got some indie superstars. We've got some guys from the past, some big names, and we've got some current guys too. So I think this is going to be a really interesting rumble. And then we'll have to figure out if the winner gets a title shot down the line for the Podski world heavyweight title. At an event we haven't even created yet.
Haven't created, booked, or anything. All right.
Okay. Well, are you? So you ready?
Yep, I'm ready. Who's our first entrant?
First entrance is, oh yeah, this is the Macho King, Randy Savage.
Love it.
Okay, so Savage is on his way to the ring right now. Okay, he's in the ring. You ready for the second one?
Who's our second entrant?
Our second entrance is MLW's own Vance Warner.
Eye pokes and light beers, baby. Let's go. He's trying to get redemption for not winning in the award.
We had to put him in there because he didn't get any love on the award show, so we had to make sure we get Mance in the Rumble.
All right, so
you're up. So do you want to do? You can either keep those guys in the ring and bring in the third, or you can by passing, or you can throw one of them out right away.
I'm gonna pass.
Okay, all right. So the third man in the Rumble is gonna be AEW Dark and Elevation alum Caesar Bononi.
Caesar Boner Boy.
And with those three in, I'm gonna throw Caesar out really quick. Vance Warner immediately threw Caesar Bononi out of the ring.
It was at the Bushwhacker spot.
He ran in, and Vance Warner looked around like, "What the hell is this guy doing here?" And he poked him in the eye and kicked him off the apron.
I love it.
Okay, so our fourth entrance is VPW superstar Johnny Collins.
Oh, let's go, Johnny Collins. He was an absolute hero at that show. There's absolutely no way I can throw any three of them out right now. They're duking.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna pass.
Collins is gonna be laying in the corner like Rey Mysterio did that one Rumble. He literally laid there for 20 minutes and did nothing.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Okay, so next guy coming to the ring is, do you smell what The Rock is cooking? The Rock is on his way to the ring as the fifth entrance in the Rumble.
Which may or may not actually be a real entrant this weekend.
That's true. That could be. That could be. Okay, so I'm going to keep everybody in. You're up.
Okay.
All right. So next one to the ring, we had to put him in here, man. He's the founder, the originator of the whole thing. So next one coming in, the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, Pat Patterson.
Yeah, the base.
He go banana.
He go banana.
So in the ring right now, you've got Savage, Mance, Johnny Collins, The Rock, and Pat.
Well, I love the exchange. Well, we definitely have a one-on-one with Mance and Patterson, I feel like. And then we have another one-on-one with The Rock and Savage.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
And Collins, he's just laying in the corner like Rey Mysterio.
He's happy to be here.
So, he's just happy to be there. I can't throw anybody out yet.
Does he still have the sunglasses on, or the sunglasses come off already?
They are absolutely on him. He looks like he's in the music video for Prop Me Up Beside the Jukebox If I Die. He's just laying there with the glasses on.
Okay, so next guy coming to the ring, you're keeping everybody, right?
Yeah, I'm keeping everybody.
Okay, next guy coming to the ring is the real American himself, the immortal Hulk Hogan.
I don't know if it's gonna work for me, brother.
Okay, do I want to throw anybody? I think I'm going to keep everybody. I like these guys too much. I'm going to pass.
That's the problem. I'm gonna like everybody.
That's okay. It's okay. We'll figure it out.
All right. Do we want to make another entrant and then?
Yeah, then you're up. Okay, so the next one's going to be the police sirens are going off everywhere. The fans are on their feet. The freaks and the peaks are headed to the ring. It's Scotty Steiner.
Holla if you hear me. Ham Cubes himself, Scotty Steiner.
Okay, so what do you want to do? You want to keep him in there? You want to throw somebody out?
I'm keeping Scotty, but I am sad to announce that Randy Savage, we're biting the dust.
Man, you got to throw out one of the heavyweights early, or else it's not going to be good. Okay, the next guy coming down is going to be
first 10. We're a third of the way through.
No, we're only went through 8. We only went through 8 so far. So we're next guy up is going to be VPW champion, the guy that we all love, Jack Tomlinson.
Yeah, he was really good. He's going to be really good.
Okay, so who we got in? We got Mance, Johnny Collins, The Rock, Pat, Hogan, Steiner, and Jack. I'm going to pass. I got to keep those guys. We might have 25 guys in the ring. That's all right. It
is all right.
Okay, so next guy coming down is going to be your turn. The master of the battle royal himself, the eighth wonder of the world, Andre the Giant.
This will not be the Andre the Giant Battle Royal Memorial or whatever that was, but I'm afraid I got to keep everybody in there. Okay,
now this is which Andre is this the Colossal Connection Andre that can't really move too well, or is this the Andre that was in there just throwing fuckers everywhere?
I think it would be more fun if it's the Andre that can't move.
Okay, next guy up, my turn. Ooh, you think I'm cute? I know I'm sexy. It's the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, coming to the ring. He is going to be, and he is the 11th entrant right now in the Rumble. So, okay, who we got? We got Mance, Collins, The Rock, Pat, Hogan, Steiner, Tomlinson, Andre, and Shawn. Man, I think we set up a big feud for down the road here, Bake. We're gonna have Shawn Michaels super kick The Rock and throw The Rock and get The Rock out of the Rumble.
Oh, there we go. I feel like that's a great one that we feel like we never got like a big time show.
Yeah, we're trying to long term book here, man.
Exactly. Wow, getting somebody out early.
Okay, so you're up. Next guy up is going to be Tampa Bay Pro legend, the guy that we all love, Bud Heavy.
There's absolutely zero chance Bud Heavy. I'm keeping Bud Heavy into the Final Four. But Pat Patterson, you've overstayed your welcome. You created this shindig, but you're gone.
Okay, who threw Pat out?
Johnny Collins finally he hurried up and scurried over and he threw him out.
Oh, God. That's awesome. I love it. Okay, I'm up. So the next one here, the longest reigning champion in WWF history, we're gonna bring in Bruno Sammartino. All right, so Sammartino's in there with Mance, Johnny Collins, Hogan, Scotty Steiner, Tomlinson, Andre, Sean, Bud Heavy, and himself. So let's see. I really like the battling back and forth here between Hogan and Sammartino, or you get Andre in the mix there. I think I'm gonna leave these guys in.
All right.
Oh, here you go, Beg. This is your boy, the Podski independent wrestler, unsigned wrestler of the year, Dan Barry.
Okay, so retract what I said about Bud Heavy and instantly insert Dan and Mance. Dan and Mance are duking it out this entire thing.
Okay.
I'm keeping them all in there, but Dan and Mance, they're jockeying for the top dog spot on the Podski rankings.
Okay, awesome. I love it. Okay, next up, here comes the winner is coming. Here comes the music. The man called Sting is the Stinger. Comes into the ring as number 15, and Sting is going to immediately get his revenge on the Hulkster for all that shit in the late 90s. And Sting is going to, just attack Hogan right away and throw the Hulkster right over the top.
All right.
Coming in at number 16, keeping with the Wolfpack theme here. Here comes your boy. It's Big Daddy, Big Sexy Kevin Nash.
All right, so Big Sexy's in the ring, and we're gonna go back to the 96 Royal Rumble. We're gonna reverse it. We're gonna have Big Sexy super kick Shawn Michaels out of the ring this time.
Oh, man, I love it. Long-term booking, pal.
Long-term booking.
All right, Michaels is out. Okay, who's coming up next?
Michaels out.
The possibly the greatest of all time, the man himself. Here comes the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, down to the ring at number 17.
And now Milt is instantly popped.
Okay, so we've got Mance Warner, Johnny Collins, Steiner, Tomlinson, Andre, Bud Heavy, Bruno Sammartino, Dan Barry, Sting, Kevin Nash. You know what? I'm gonna have Flair just be Flair, man. He's gonna go in there. He's gonna go right after Sting, hits him with the low blow, grabs the leg, and throws him right over the top.
Wow.
Sorry, JC. Okay, so you're up here with the next one. Okay, the excellence of execution himself here, Baker. You got number 18. It's Bret the Hitman Hart.
All right, so Bret hops in the ring. There's an immediate stare down with Bret and Bruno.
Why wouldn't there be?
Why wouldn't there be? And Bret throws Bruno out of the ring after exchange.
Okay.
Sees Bruno's running across the ring, and Bret is standing right by the rope, so he pulls the top rope down, and over goes Sammartino.
Yeah, classic Hart move, man. Classic Hart move. That's good.
The old bait.
Okay, at number 19 is the big dead man himself, The Undertaker.
Dead man walking.
Okay, so Taker's going to come down. Let's say him and Andre have a big stare down, but Scotty Steiner right away grabs The Undertaker and throws The Undertaker over the top. Bye. Taker's out.
Oh, my.
He falls right into a casket.
A casket out of nowhere.
No, Rick Steiner brought it down to the ring because they were feuding. There was a feud.
Wow.
Rick Steiner brought it down to the ring. Braun Breaker jumped out of the casket, distracted The Undertaker. Scotty hit him with the back of the head with a forearm and knocked him into the casket. And Braun Breaker jumped on the casket and laid on it so he couldn't get out. And Rick Steiner wheeled it all the way to the back.
With his dog. He pulled it like a dog. Like he had
on a dog chain while Braun Breaker was trying to light it on fire while he was also riding it like a surfboard. Give me the book, dude. I can book this shit.
It's not hard.
All right, you're up. Next guy up is going to be, you're going to have tag team partners in the ring here, Beg. You're going to have Dan Barry's Wrestling Open tag team partner, 50 Cal.
Well, Mance has beaten the absolute tar out of Dan, and 50 Cal runs in, breaks it up, but then the sneaky Johnny Collins grabs 50 Cal by the ankles and whoop, right over the top. He's in.
Right out. Okay.
Johnny Collins is hanging around.
Two guys are out quick, man. That's how it happens, man.
Opportunist.
That's how it happens. Okay, so the next guy up, number 21 into the Rumble. We're getting down to it here. Is going to be none other than the tribal chief himself, Roman Reigns. Now, we know the Usos aren't going to be too far behind here. So now in the ring, we've got Mansoor, Collins, Scotty Steiner, Tomlinson, Andre, Bud Heavy, Dan Barry, Nash, Flair, Hart, and Reigns. So let's see here. We're going to have Reigns make a big impact right away. I'm going to have Reigns go right after Steiner. Reigns is going to go right after Scotty Steiner, just attacks him, throws him over the top rope. And he didn't have any help. I mean, we'll say the Usos were under the ring. The Usos were under the ring. They jumped up and grabbed the top rope. You know, Rick and Braun are backstage messing with the Undertaker, trying to chain the casket so he can't get out and he can't come down to help. So Scotty Steiner gets thrown out.
Wow. That is fantastic.
Hey, it's what happens, man. You got to have friends, you know?
Yep.
Okay, at number 22 is Nails.
All right, so Nails makes his way to the ring, slides in, and Jack Tomlinson immediately tries to take a selfie with him. Nails grabs him by the throat, picks him up over the ropes, and gives him the big choke slam out of the ring. Jack Tomlinson.
Oh man, he did a good. He was in there a pretty long time. He was in there for a good
time. Not quite as long as Johnny Collins and or Dan Barry and or Mance Warner.
It's true. It's very true. Okay, next guy up, and I had to put this guy in here because I realized when I wrote down 30 names, none of them were black, so I had to get a black guy so you don't get canceled here on the Podski. But I picked one that I think is going to make a big impact, and that's going to be Powerhouse Will Hobbs.
All right, Powerhouse.
Okay, so we've got Hobbs is in there now. I think Hobbs and Nash are going to get into it, but there's going to be a bunch of near flips over the rope, and nobody gets thrown out yet. So I'm going to pass on that one.
All right.
Okay, so next one up is going to be SWA legend Hillbilly Joe.
And I have zero idea who Hillbilly Joe is, but Hillbilly Joe is going to hit the ring, and they're all going to be looking at each other like, who the hell is this guy? And he's going to band them together. They're going to everyone's going to come together in the ring. They're going to mold together, and they're going to eliminate Andre the Giant for the better.
Okay. It always takes a lot of people to get the big guy out. So that's good.
Give me the book.
Any friendships made during that? Anybody high-fiving?
Hillbilly Joe high fives Nails.
All right, next guy up, number 25, is going to be the Hollywood icon, the longest reigns in WWE history, right, with the belt, John Cena.
And Trey just creamed his pants.
Oh, Trey's going crazy right now. Trey's going to be so mad if he doesn't win this. So, okay. So Cena's going to come in. Cena and Reigns get into it right away. Let's see. Hart and Flair fighting pretty good. Mance Warner and Dan Barry are still going at it. I'm going to say that Hillbilly Joe turns on Nails.
Ooh.
Nails out of the ring. Nails is gone.
Wow.
All right, you're up. Your turn. And the glass breaks, and here he comes. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I love it. All right, so Austin hits the ring. And it's 1996. Steve grabs Brett, throws his ass out. What?
What? Love it. All right, number 27. We're getting down to it here. Is going to be your guy. Here comes Triple H to the ring with the sledgehammer in hand.
Perfect.
Okay, so Triple H comes down to the ring. He spits the water, but he spits the water in the face. He spits the water in the face of Ric Flair and throws Flair out of over the top.
His idol.
Throws him out. He's out. It's every man for himself in this thing.
Wow, the breakup of Evolution had just happened.
All right, you're up next, and you got the chairman of WCW, La Parka.
So yes, La Parka hits the ring with the chair, immediately hits Bud Heavy with it. Bud Heavy is stumbling around, and then the ever so sneaky Johnny Collins gives him the ever so slight push over the top rope, and Bud Heavy has been eliminated.
Oh man, we were really rooting for Bud Heavy to win this thing. Okay, he's out. He's out. Okay, next guy up. He's been around for a long time. He's a great amateur wrestler, former WWF champion. It's Bob Backlund. All right, Backlund hits the ring. Who's Backlund? Okay, Backlund and Cena are going to fight right away. Mance Warner and Kevin Nash are going at it in the corner. Nash is giving Manser the big knee lifts. Will Hobbs is giving spine busters to everybody. Giving spine busters to La Parka. And let's see here. We're going to say Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash turns around and just grabs Hillbilly Joe by his hat and throws the Hillbilly right over the top rope. All right, you got the last guy here, the last entrant coming to the ring right now, the Lone Wolf, Razor Ramon Scott Hall.
All right. Well, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, they reminisce in the ring. The Outsiders are back together, and they start teaming up, and they're going after Mance. They're going after Johnny. Johnny and Mance, they both slip out of there. But John Cena becomes the unexpected elimination, and Cena is eliminated by the Outsiders.
Oh man, Trey, we're sorry, man.
Sorry, Trey.
Sorry. He put up a good fight. He did put up a good fight. It's been a rough one here for Cena. You know, he came in there pretty recently, and then he got thrown out. But you know, it's what it is, man. You get double teamed in the Rumble, man. That's what happens.
Not everyone can win.
Okay, so right now we've still got in the ring Mance Warner, Johnny Collins, Dan Barry, Kevin Nash, Roman Reigns, Will Hobbs, Stone Cold, Triple H, La Parka, Bob Backlund, and Scott Hall. So I'm going to say that Dan Barry is going to run across the ring, jump on Bob Backlund's back, put him in a chokehold, and then Backlund's arms are flailing around like crazy. They're backing up. They're starting to fall, and they run right into no other than Roman Reigns, and Reigns gets knocked over the top rope.
Oh,
By Dan Barry and Bob Backlund. which sets up night one of WrestleMania this year, which is Bob Backlund versus Roman Reigns. And night two is Dan Barry and Roman Reigns. We love you, Dan.
It may not be. He hasn't made it through yet.
It's true.
I'm gonna say that the 2-man power trip form, and while La Parka is going after Steve Austin, Triple H comes up behind La Parka and whoop, throws him out. La Parka has been eliminated.
Oh man. Did he get to do the dance on top of the chair in the ring?
Yes.
Okay. As long as we got that, that's good.
La Parka has been eliminated.
Okay, next guy up here. Let's see what we got. Okay. Let's see here. We're gonna say that Kevin Nash is wailing on Bob Backlund. Scott Hall's going at it with Will Hobbs, and for some reason, you know, Kevin Nash catches an elbow from Scott Hall in the back of the head accidentally, and Nash turns around and accuses Hall of hitting him from behind, and they start pushing each other. And Scott Hall grabs Kevin Nash by the collar, starts slapping him. They start fighting. They're rolling around on the ropes, and Kevin Nash gets eliminated by Scott Hall.
Oh. And as soon as Hall hits Nash over, he's hanging over the rope. He's getting ready to throw the toothpick at him. And who other than the ultimate opportunist himself, Johnny Collins, rises out of the corner to eliminate Scott Hall.
Okay, Hall's out, man. We're getting down to it. All we got's Mance, Johnny, Dan Barry, Will Hobbs, Austin, Triple H, and Bob Backlund.
Best workers ever.
Okay, we're gonna say that Bob Backlund is on his hands and knees right now in front of Triple H, and he's begging for mercy, but it turns out he's begging for a job. He's begging for a job at Triple H. Please bring me back. I can go to NXT. I can work with anybody. And Triple H says okay, shakes his hand, gets Bob Backlund back on his feet, kicks him in the groin with a low blow, gives him the pedigree, grabs him by the collar and elbow, and throws him over the top rope. Bob Backlund's out. And he's back in the soup line for Bob Backlund.
And while Triple H is on the ropes, the ultimate opportunist, Johnny Collins, comes for the elimination of Triple H, but he gets cut off by Will Hobbs, who grabs Johnny Collins, spine busters him, and then he gets thrown over the top, and Johnny Collins is eliminated by Will Hobbs.
Oh, man. Didn't see that one coming yet. Oh, man. Okay. So while Will Hobbs is celebrating it, throwing Collins over, because Collins has been in there for a long time. While he's doing that, Mance Warner walks over, and Mance knows this is going to be a fight, right? He knows it's going to be him and Hobbs is going to be a big fight. So he's giving him eye poke with the left hand, eye poke with the right hand, eye poke with the left, eye poke with the right, backing him up all the way to the ropes, and then grabs both feet and throws him over the top. Will Hobbs is out.
We are down to our final four now, aren't we?
Yeah, we got four. We got Mance, Dan Barry, Austin, and Triple H.
So all four men are now standing in the corners. And then we have a standoff. They break into pairs. Dan Barry is staring at Triple H. Mance is staring at Austin. Dan wants to get the job from Triple H. He wants to get signed. He wants to be a true talent. He wants to be an up-and-coming top prospect on the Podski. And Triple H tries to give it to him, but Dan Barry gives him the low blow, and Triple H is eliminated by Dan Barry. He doesn't end up being a top prospect. He wants to stay at the top of the unsigned prospects.
Unbelievable. The fact that you threw him out.
I know.
I thought he was going all the way.
No.
You can't give him the obvious finish. You know what I mean?
You got to keep him on your toes. That's how you keep the book longer.
So while all that's going on, Mance and Austin are just throwing fists at each other, and they're now rolling around the ring, and Austin's throwing those weird fists, and Manser's fighting back and everything, and Dan Barry's just sitting there and watching the action. Manser pulls Steve Austin back to his feet. Austin blocks a punch, kick to the stomach, stunner. Manser's flying around, flopping around. Dan Barry with a big, enormous lariat knocks Austin ass over tea kettle in the middle of the ring. Manser climbs up the ropes, grabs Austin, and throws Austin over the top. Now we're down to Warner and Barry.
What a stare. We have the ultimate stare down. This is obviously for the biggest prize that the Podski.
These are Podski heavyweights that are in the final two right here.
Yes, these are Podski heavyweights. Mance Warner, Dan Barry. They're duking it out with rights and lefts. There's a double clothesline in there. And Mance gives Dan Barry the double eye poke. Stone Cold throws a beer over the top rope. Mance grabs it, opens it, throws the beer into the freshly poked eyes of Dan Barry. Dan has no idea where he is. He's stumbling all over the place. And Mance Warner throws Dan out of the ring.
Oh my God.
Mance Warner.
What a finish.
The Podski's very first Royal Rumble winner. He will go on to face somebody at WrestleMania or Podski Mania. We have no idea who the champion is, but he's facing somebody. He paved his way to Podski Mania.
Oh man, old Manser, he did it, man. Old Manser, light beers and lariats. He'll be happy to hear that too, man. That's really good. What a finish! What a finish to that Rumble.
Yes. Double eye poke and then shoving beer in his eye.
But I'll tell you what, you gotta take your hat off to Johnny Collins, man. What a performance he had here in the Rumble. Great job to Johnny Collins.
Johnny Collins with a gutsy effort.
Dan Barry with a gutsy effort.
Yeah, Dan Barry with the gutsiest effort. Did he have his match last weekend? Did you see his tweet?
I saw his tweet, but I don't know what happened in the match. I didn't even get a chance to watch it. I forget who he was even up against.
I wonder. I have no idea if he's still. This could be this match might have pulled Dan Barry out of retirement.
It could have. Yeah, he might be on the retirement tour like Great Muta, dude.
Yeah. That was awesome. That was absolutely fantastic. Yeah. So, thank you for tuning into the Podski Roundtable. We had a lot of fun doing this, and we had a lot of fun with everybody last night. Thank you to everybody that came on last night. Had a lot of fun, and hopefully everyone enjoys the Royal Rumble this weekend.
Yeah, I think everybody from last night will be back too. Everybody seemed like they had a great time, and I'm sure everybody will be back on the show.
Yeah, thank you to everybody. Yeah, everyone did an awesome job last night. It was a lot of fun talking wrestling in the Royal Rumble. Hopefully everyone liked this episode. Make sure you check us out on Twitter at @the_Podski, Instagram @the_Podski, and Facebook at the Podski with John Baker. Make sure you download, rate, review, and subscribe. And thank you to Andre for this awesome idea of the Podski Royal Rumble and coming on as usual. And we will see you next time on the Podski.